Yan swasin pasar basing sayuti. Mainstream narratives often paint gun ownership in a negative light, suggesting a world where firearms lead to more crime. But is that the truth? Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. In a world of sensational headlines and polarizing debates, it's easy to lose sight of the fact that the vast majority of gun owners are law-abiding citizens. They're not the villains of the story, but rather, they often play a crucial role in maintaining safety. Take, for instance, the FBI's active shooter incidents report. It tells a different narrative, one where armed citizens have stepped in and stopped crimes in their tracks. These aren't isolated incidents. They're real-life examples of ordinary people making extraordinary choices to protect themselves and those around them. Yet, these heroic acts seldom capture the media spotlight with the intensity they deserve. Research indicates that guns prevent an estimated 2.5 million crimes a year. In fact, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, along with various comprehensive studies, echo these findings, highlighting how firearms often serve as crucial instruments of defense. Picture this. An ordinary citizen confronted by a potential threat uses their firearm to deter the situation. In many of these cases, not a single shot is fired. The mere presence of the firearm is enough to discourage the criminal, turning potential victims into empowered defenders. Let's expand our perspective. It's not just about isolated incidents. We're talking about up to 3 million instances each year where firearms have been used defensively. These are moments of bravery and resilience where law-abiding citizens have stood up against crime, ensuring their safety and that of others. These aren't mere numbers. They're lives saved, crimes prevented. There's a stark difference between the criminal with a gun and the law-abiding citizen armed for self-defense. The criminal uses the weapon as a tool for illegal activities, ignoring the law and disregarding the rights and safety of others. On the other hand, the law-abiding citizen views their firearm as a means of protection, a last line of defense against those who would do them harm. They respect the law, follow safety protocols, and understand that with rights come responsibilities. Now let's consider gun control laws. Their purpose is to regulate firearm ownership and use, to keep guns out of the wrong hands. But do they achieve this goal? Or do they primarily impact those who are already following the law? The unfortunate reality is that criminals, by definition, don't obey laws. So while these regulations may hinder the law-abiding citizens, they often do little to deter the criminal. Gun control laws aim to regulate, but too often they hinder the law-abiding while doing little to deter the criminal. Gun control advocates push for common sense laws, but let's examine the impact. Stricter laws and regulations often come with good intentions, but their effect isn't always as planned. Instead of curbing violence or crime, these laws tend to disproportionately affect those who follow them. The law-abiding citizens. Consider the concept of gun-free zones. They are established with the goal of ensuring safety. However, the reality is that these zones, where law-abiding citizens are barred from carrying firearms, can become attractive targets for those with malicious intent. Why? Because criminals, by their very nature, do not respect laws or boundaries. They care little for the signs declaring an area gun-free. Instead, they see an opportunity. A place where potential victims are unlikely to be able to defend themselves. Far from being safe havens, these zones often become targets for criminals who care little for the signs declaring the area gun-free. And as we navigate the complexities of gun control, it's crucial to assess the real-world impacts of these policies. Are we making our neighborhoods safer? Or are we just creating more vulnerable targets? The key lies in crafting laws that empower law-abiding citizens, not strip them of their rights. We need to focus on deterring crime, not making it easier for criminals to find defenseless victims. True common-sense laws should empower citizens and deter crime, not make it easier for criminals to find defenseless victims. Our discussion today highlights the importance of the Second Amendment and the need for policies that recognize the value of self-defense. We've dissected misconceptions, shared untold stories, compared law-abiding citizens and criminals, and examine the reality of gun control. It's clear that true, common-sense laws should empower citizens, not criminals. Reflecting on these insights, we understand the complexities of this debate. As defenders of our rights, we must continue to advocate for measures that truly enhance safety for all.